Okay, so I'm back. Um, so I went to Dr. Jennings and I had my annual pap smear. Everything came back good. I was very elated about that. I did talk to her about my three different miscarriages, with two being ectopic, and the other one with my progesterone not being to the level that it needed to be. She told me about a test where she would shoot dye through my fallopian tubes to see if there was any scarring, or if like a tube or like a fallopian tube should be, the dye would just shoot out like a water fountain. So I was like, okay, well, everything came back good for my pap smear. I was very, elated to go see exactly what was going on, if something was going on with my fallopian tubes. So that day, I went in and it felt like it was like a menstrual. I was back on my menstrual cycle, like the cramps and stuff, but it wasn't something that I couldn't bear. When they did the test, the radiologist automatically stated, okay, your right tube, it's draining out good, but your left tube, it looks a little dilated. So I said, okay, you know what? And he told me, and I knew that he meant nothing by it, but it's just sometimes what you say to people, you never know how it can really affect them. He's like, well, at least we know you can have a child 50%. 50% sure we know you can have a child. So I was like, 50%? Like, I'm feeling right now. So in my eyes, that's what I felt like. So I left and I went home and I talked to my husband to let him know what was going on. I informed my mom, and a few days later, I got a phone call telling me that I needed to come in and talk to Dr. Jennings. And everybody knows, if you don't get a phone call, it's good. If you get a phone call, it's not too good. So I called her back, and the nurse told me, Dr. Jennings wants you to come in and talk to her about the results of your test. And I was like, well, can you just kind of tell me over the phone what? She was like, no, she'd rather talk to you about it in person. And so I was like, okay. So I went ahead and I scheduled an appointment, and I saw her yesterday. And she told me that she thinks that it's best that I get my left tube removed. But if she goes in and she can see that there is just some minimal scarring through the procedure that she's going to have to do, then she might be able, I think she said, to scrape the scarring off my tube. But she said she thinks that it's best that I get my tube removed. And that's what we plan on doing, is possibly just removing my tube. Well, okay. Then once again, I put myself back in that category of, I can only have a baby for sure, 50% for sure. I can possibly get pregnant 50%. I think I'm saying it right, because my mind's everywhere. And what am I supposed to do? Like, Carson, I want to make sure that I can give him a child. I personally want a child. I want to give my mother grandchildren. I want my legacy. I want Carson's legacy to live on. All these things are running through my head. And then for a split second, when she told me how the procedure would go, which would be an incision on both sides of my stomach and through my belly button, oh my God, that's a scar. Like, that's going to be scars on both sides of my stomach and my belly button. I'm a 27-year-old woman, and yes, I know when I bear children, that I will probably get the stretch marks, and I'm not going to be the cutest thing probably while I'm pregnant, but who knows though. But it's kind of like a self-conscious thing of knowing that you might have permanent scars. And me being honest, I want to look good for my husband. I want him to still see me as the attractive woman that I was when we first met, and that he says that I am today. So after hearing the news, I called him and I told him, I was like, babe, I'm going to have to have surgery. And he's like, what's going on? Like, tell me everything or whatever. And I explained to him, and he was like, so after you have this, like, everything should be good. I'm like, that's what she's saying, but you never know exactly until after you do something. And I was telling him, and I just broke down crying at Baptist, and I was like, I'm nervous right now. I asked myself, why me? Why is all this stuff happening to me? And that fear started building back up. Being fearful started building back up. And he was like, everything's going to be okay. We got to do what we got to do. And I was like, you're not going to go through what I'm about to go through. And you don't have to do this. But then I caught myself, because when you're married, you are one and you are considered that concept of we. And I know that even when I got sick for after my first, not my first, but my third miscarriage, those words through sickness and health, like, really, really got tested this year. And I felt like this was just another test that God was putting us through. Well, He is putting us through. And my husband, he's not the type of person just to be, very out about telling everybody what's going on within our lives. And it was very shocking to me. And I know I'm kind of jumping everywhere, but the path that I'm on, you'll be able to catch on. But it was kind of crazy to see when he wanted to post pictures of us in our shirts saying this girl's gonna be a mom and this guy's gonna be a dad. But that was his sense of healing, I think. And us as women, we automatically sometimes assume that the man doesn't care when they're not crying or so down and about when something like a miscarriage does take place. But we all grieve in our own way. And as I got older and the years have gone by, I've gotten to see that. And I called him today, I said, Carson, I want to make this journey of ours fun and show the world what we have going on and be help for the next individual that might be going through the same thing that we are. And he said, that's perfectly fine. Now I'm thinking, okay, now it's probably just going to be me. He's not going to want to get on the camera and all that kind of stuff. And he told me he wants to be a part of the documentary. God works in very mysterious ways. And I truly think that this is just going to bring us closer. And I sit back and I think about how my mom, and I don't want to cry, how she holds on to me so tough and loves me so hard because I am her only child. And I can see the fact of why she does that, because my three little angels, even though I never got to see them on a monitor to, see their heartbeat and just feel them within my womb, but I knew that they were there. And I just know when God blesses with this child that I am going to love and cherish and care for this baby. And I might be a barber too, because I might not let the baby out. I don't want to go that far. No, I'm just playing. But I know that I'm going to love this child and just do everything I possibly can. And to all my Facebook family, I thank you for sharing your stories with me on my timeline, on your timeline, and on my news feed, where I can see that your blessings came, and it gives me hope. And I believe in God. Do I know the Bible just from like the back of my hand? No, but I remember being told when people are being blessed around you, your blessing is right around the corner. And I truly believe that. And sometimes people just come into your life and you don't realize why, or you get to see things and you don't realize why. But there's a reason for everything. And many times when I see you guys' stories on Facebook, I break down and cry because I'm genuinely happy for you, because you'll be able to have your bundle of joy and give them the love that they deserve. And I just thank God just for letting me see that and giving me a sign that I know that Carson and our blessing is on its way. And to the women that are in my shoes right now, I'm very thankful that I have some of you to talk to, but never give up. Never, because your time is coming too. And just as I am very elated to see the other people's stories, I am going to be very elated to see yours as well, because we're speaking it into existence. We're going to say that everything is happening for a reason, but we're going to be blessed with our children. Lord help me, our children. And I'm just trying to think. Maybe I should end it now, but this is very therapeutic talking. Even though I feel like I'm just talking to myself right now, this was very therapeutic for me to just get some of this off my chest. So November 21st, I'm going in to have my surgery to remove my left tube. My left tube is being removed so I can be blessed with the baby. And I am excited, nervous, but more excited than anything. And I just thank you for taking time to listen. And when I am blessed, or when me and Carson are blessed with our baby, and we are going to share our bundle of joy with the world, because we know God is preparing us for an amazing child, a child that is going to do amazing things and be a great asset to this world. So, and I'm going to say this too, never know. I'm talking about a child blessing us with children. We have twins that run through our family, and we have been told that we are going to have twins. Whatever God may bless us with, we are thankful. And I just thank you all for just taking time to even look at this video. And I hope you all have a good night. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.